On the B8, B8.5 front subframe brace, which is our X brace, what forces are being braced? Does the stock brace twist? Yeah, the stock brace is a steel unit that's made from sheet metal. It's not bad, but it's much more, it has a lot more strength in two dimensions. But once you start introducing any twisting forces, it's very weak in that. And so our billet aluminum version is much more rigid and has less flex. So customers do typically, I mean, we've sold thousands of those. We've had overwhelmingly good feedback that there are handling improvements from doing that. It's a very unique Audi design how they did that subframe. They have only done it on the B8 and I don't know if any other like C7s have that design, but they just went from a departure. Typically the subframe is a one-piece assembly that the suspension connects directly to, and it's cast aluminum or heavy gauge welded steel, and it's a very massive, strong assembly. On B5s it was like that, B6s, B7s, and even later cars like B9 are a different design, but on B8 they left the whole middle of the subframe open where the suspension connects to some sub-assemblies on the side, and then the X-brace kind of ties all that together. And it's just a weaker, more inherently flexing design.
Yeah. And the stock plate is literally, you can think of it, it's a flat sheet of steel, and it works in a shear plane.
I mean, it's really
that's
thin
really
box tubing.
Yeah.
I don't want to make it sound like it's
I'm sorry,
sheet metal.
you're right. It is, but
yeah.
Where it connects is down to a single sheet metal layer.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's good at keeping it from pulling apart. But if you get any kind of horizontal action on it, it's not nearly as good at reducing those movements. So
yeah, and if you know about how cars, when forces are applied to cars, the entire car does not compress or stretch, or it doesn't do this. It twists. That's what So imagine you have a car is basically it's a two-dimensional piece of sheet metal, and so if you had a 4x8 sheet of sheet metal that was really thin, you could pick it up and it would just twist. You wouldn't be able to stretch it, you wouldn't be able to compress it, but it would twist really easily. And so you just take a car and you stretch it up into a box. Now you have like a really long box that, again, you can't compress or stretch boxes, but you can twist them. So that's the force that acts on the X-brace, is when the car twists, the X-brace wants to deform. And you don't have a lot of room for triangulation in the third dimension. So you're just stuck with making, in the two dimensions, you're making it thicker, more rigid, you're putting more material in there, and that's what we did. So